Anora 2024, the rom-com that won an Oscar for Best Picture. Anora is a 2024 American comedy-drama film written, directed, produced, and edited by Sean Baker. It stars Mikey Madison as Anora Ani Tmikiva, a New York City exotic dancer who marries the wealthy son of a Russian oligarch, played by Mark Eidelstein. The cast includes Yura Borisov, Karen Karagulian, Vash Tovmasyan, Daria Ekimosova, and Alexei Serebryakov. Anora premiered at the 77th Cannes Film Festival on May 21, 2024, where it received critical acclaim and won the Palme d'Or. Neon released it theatrically on October 18, 2024. The film grossed $47.2 million worldwide on a $6 million budget, becoming Baker's highest-grossing film. Plot: Anora Ani Tmikiva, a 23-year-old stripper, lives in Brighton Beach, a Russian-American neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. Her boss introduces her to Ivan Vanya Zakharov, the 21-year-old son of Russian oligarch Nikolai Zakharov, who is looking for someone fluent in Russian. Although Vanya is in the United States studying, he spends most of his time partying in clubs and playing video games at the family mansion in Brooklyn. Vanya hires Anora for several sexual encounters and offers her $15,000 to stay with him for a week. During a trip to Las Vegas, he expresses contempt for his parents and Russia and impulsively proposes marriage. Anora accepts, and they elope to a wedding chapel. She quits her job and moves into Vanya's mansion. When news of their marriage reaches Russia, Vanya's mother, Galina, orders her Armenian godfather, Toros, to find them and arrange the annulment while she and Nikolai travel to the United States. Toros sends his henchmen, Garnik and Igor, to the mansion. They inform Vanya that his parents are taking him back to Russia and enrage Anora by calling her a prostitute and suggesting that Vanya only married her to gain permanent residency. Vanya escapes, and Anora fights Garnik and Igor before they subdue and restrain her. When Toros arrives, he berates Anora about Vanya's immaturity and financial dependence on her father. He confiscates her wedding ring, gags her, and offers her $10,000 for an annulment. Anora insists that she and Vanya are in love, but agrees to help find him. Anora, Toros, Garnik, and Igor search in Brooklyn. Anora learns from friends that Vanya is at his old strip club, where a dancer is entertaining him. They find him drunk and force him to wait outside the courthouse until morning. The annulment is dismissed, as the marriage took place in Nevada. At the airport, Anora introduces herself to Nikolai and Galina in Russian, but Galina rejects her. Vanya, giving in to his parents, tells Anora that their marriage is impossible, and Galina orders everyone on a plane to Las Vegas. Having not signed a prenuptial agreement, Anora agrees to file for divorce, but Galina threatens her with financial ruin if she does not agree. Realizing Vanya's indecisiveness and the power of her family, Anora signs the papers. Igor suggests that Vanya apologize, but Galina refuses. Anora insults them both before leaving, telling Galina that Vanya married her to irritate his mother. Igor drives Anora back to New York to collect her belongings. At the mansion, she confronts Igor about their encounter, accusing him of assault and saying he would have raped her if they were alone together. The next morning, Igor gives Anora the money and drives her home. In the car, he returns her wedding ring. Anora initiates sex with him, but stops when he tries to kiss her. She collapses and cries in his arms. Comments: For me, it's a fun and very entertaining romantic comedy. Despite its long runtime, you won't get bored, as there are implicit jokes about the situation in the plot. The protagonist is an escort who enjoys her job. That is, unlike in Pretty Woman, where the sex worker was unhappy with her job, it was clear she got there out of hunger and would have liked to be something more. Ani enjoys her job and is there by choice. Additionally, you can see a day-to-day experience in her profession, where there are coexistence, problems, and situations like in any other job. This is common in any professional environment, I mean, situations of problems and coexistence. The girl is very feisty, very strong physically and mentally, and all of this has amazed the public, as it has earned her an Oscar, I mean, for the actress. But from my point of view, it's still a romantic comedy. But unlike Pretty Woman or Striptease, Anora doesn't really pose a social issue for the plot, only a personal one. Let's break this down. In Striptease, the protagonist, a dancer in a nightclub, faced social discrimination because of her profession, to the point that she was on the verge of losing her daughter. A social issue was raised as well as a personal one. In Pretty Woman, the protagonist was 100% a sex worker, one of those we see on the streets. She didn't work in a company like Anora. Besides, it was clear that the economic situation led her there, but that wasn't her life, it wasn't what she wanted, she aspired to something more. And of course, she faced the hatred of society for her profession, the denigration and insults, in addition to the offenses of being offered money to leave a person alone, something that offends even more than the already degrading discrimination that society has. In Anora, the only personal problem is that a girl, after spending many days at parties with a young Russian millionaire or perhaps billionaire, decides to get married, something that many young people do when they go out to parties. Anora, of course, receives discrimination and insults for having married the young man, but she is an escort and not a sex worker like in Pretty Woman 100%. In addition, the discrimination was not 100% due to her profession, it was more due to classism. Let's put it this way, if she had worked in a hamburger restaurant, or been a maid in a hotel, or one of the girls who works in a casino, she would have received the same treatment from her Russian parents. Nothing would have changed except that when they referred to her profession, they would call her differently, but the treatment would be the same. Here, it is a class issue, due to the woman's social position, but not 100% due to her profession. The film doesn't deal with a strong theme, it only deals with strong scenes. What surprised me, because it's the first film I've done this for, was noticing the music. Maybe it was because I paid special attention this time, but it has good music. I think this has an impact that, in addition to the visuals, adds to the audience's enjoyment. Added to the scenes that make you laugh, the film is entertaining, fun, and of course, enjoyable. The Oscars, let's talk about two, Best Picture and Best Actress. I don't think it deserved it for Best Picture, but the others are in the same position, so I don't care. Best Actress, after watching the film, I believe they stole it from Demi Moore. The Academy missed the opportunity to honor a talented actress who also did a good job in her film, The Substance. Despite her younger self taking center stage, the essence of the film rested on Demi's character. She bore the full weight of the film, and made critics and those who saw the film talk about that essence that made the film sublime. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Personally, I always said the film was good, but not award-winning, but at the time, I didn't know its competitors. In short, a missed opportunity to recognize someone who was once the highest-grossing actress in cinema. I'd like to share some opinions here, from a scout and a film critic. Others felt the film reverted to regressive stereotypes about sex workers as oppressed and in need of saving. A UK-based sex worker commented at the film repeats the traumatized and vulnerable sex worker trope, which we've seen 1,000 times before. Marla Cruz opined that little is revealed about Ani's life outside of sex work, and that there is a lack of exploration of the boundary between Ani the person and Ani the worker. Ayana Doja wrote, The film is narratively constructed and follows social imaginings of sex workers as subhuman projections for other people's fantasies. Cruz wrote that it is debatable whether Ani becomes more lucid about her relationship with power, men, and money throughout the film. But let's look at one more critic's opinion. Roberts appreciated the film overall, but criticized the ending, writing that, for real-life sex workers, the real goal isn't to be saved by a man, but rather, it's about surviving, or, ideally, transcending the need to survive. She added that rather than representing the knight in shining armor archetype, clients are a means to an end. Money can't break your heart. Finally, after listening to Robert's comment, I can say I can't fault his logic. Anora is a very fun and entertaining romantic comedy. Its scenes aren't for everyone, and this makes it more visually appealing, which may impact opinions. However, it doesn't portray any social issues, just a personal situation, as it might have been for a girl who works as a maid or a fast food vendor. That's all, goodbye.